Thank you for joining us on Data Cloud Now, where we bring you the latest in all things data in business and industry. I'm now joined by Shakir Karim, VP of Product Management at Zuora. Karim, such a pleasure to have you on the program.
Thank you, nice to be here.
At Zuora, you help today's innovative companies nurture and monetize direct digital relationships. Can you walk the audience through the platform?
Yeah, so you can think of Zuora as a monetization platform, so a suite of business applications that allow customers across all industries to essentially help them monetize end to end. So on the very front end, we've got our quoting or commerce experiences. We've got billing in the middle, which helps with invoicing and taxes and all that great stuff. And then we've got payment processing and then even revenue recognition. And we help our customers with any type of recurring revenue business model, whether it's consumption business models, whether it's subscription business models, or even a hybrid business model. We've got about 1,000 customers, and those customers range from anywhere around the world, some of the best brands in the world, for example, Zoom, Catepillar, Schneider Electric, General Motors, and beyond.
I know all of those personally, so thank you, Shakir. Great to have a baseline. Let's dig a little bit deeper. Zuora's vision is to lead the subscription economy. Can you elaborate on this? And are you noticing any trends across the board?
Yeah, so what we are seeing is, well, first of all, let me take a step back. So the subscription economy was a term that our CEO coined about 15 years ago. At that time, it really was a product-centric business model. And so his hypothesis was if we can essentially shift gears to more of a customer-centric business model with recurring revenue at the forefront and recurring relationships, that we could essentially get some hyper growth. And what's exciting to see is that now all products and services has some form of a recurring revenue or subscription model to them. So he really was at the forefront of that. I've even seen BMW selling, heated seats as a subscription. So if that's not the new norm, I don't know.
Full circle.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what is. But more interesting enough, what we're seeing in terms of trends over the last 3 years, we're actually seeing a lot of market saturation. We're seeing actually growth rates decline. We're seeing increased competitiveness. Things like streaming, like Disney and Netflix, they're no longer looking for new subscribers. They're actually competing for the same subscribers. And so with that, we're actually seeing quite a shift. So at Zuora, we think of this as number one, should be a focus around customer retention, and number two, around an actual recurring growth flywheel, such that you can offer your customers growth at any point in time that they need that growth. And a great example of that is with consumption-based pricing models. So Snowflake is one of those examples where Snowflake allows you to buy credits and you can utilize those credits. You can either buy more as you consume more, you can take a step back. And so Snowflake is there for your customers when they need to be, when they want you to be there. In addition, I would say that a great Zuora customer is New York Times. What you've seen with them is they've essentially taken their all or nothing bundle and they've started to unbundle. So now you can take advantage of things like just Wordle or Crossroads, crossword puzzles, or just recipes or just the news. So it's really by precision, you can take advantage of the content that is most meaningful for you. And they're using a lot of the data insights to ensure that they're targeting the right components or the right packages to the right consumer. So that's the trends that we're seeing.
I'm so glad you mentioned Snowflake and the Data Cloud. We're here in Santa Clara. The Data Cloud ecosystem is all around us. How does the Data Cloud's ease of use allow you and your team to do more for your clients?
Of course. So first of all, we're immensely grateful to be a Snowflake partner. I think our combination of partnership has done really well. We actually have a number of integration points and a number of mutual customers. So on the Snowflake and Zuora side, if you can think about that marriage, Zuora owns all the monetization data sets, the consumption data, the payment data, the billing data, the revenue data, and customers want to see that data into their Snowflake instance. So real-time event stream into Snowflake, where it can be married with things like our COGS data from AWS or your product adoption and usage metrics from Amplitude, or your NPS data from Qualtrics. All of that data in a single data repository allows our customers, our mutual customers, to really answer the strategic questions that they want to get answered. For example, which customers are of churn risk? So that's just an example of how we're working great together.
Great to hear. In today's ever-increasing competitive landscape, how are you and the team adapting to the changing needs of your clients to ensure that you're always delivering best in class?
Sure. So, I mean, we have some of the best brands in the world, and with monetization processes, you can imagine this is all critical P0 type processes. And so our customers are trying to not only adapt and be competitive in the world, but they also want to do it safely and efficiently with Zuora. And so some of the trends that we're seeing is really around introducing or enabling more business models. So things like consumption-based pricing. So as customers want to dip their feet into that while they still have their subscription or the other hybrid business models up and running, they can do that with Zuora, and we've got them covered from the quote all the way to the revenue side. In addition to that, another area of innovation is always around data, because if you want to introduce a new business model, you not only need the data to make those decisions, but also evaluate how effective those decisions have been. And so things like our Snowflake connector is really a core investment in innovation there. We also have something called Subscriber IQ, which allows our customers to baseline or benchmark against like-minded customers, not only in the top end with the conversion metrics, like top of funnel type stuff, but also all the way down to the nitty-gritty, like is my payment fraud percentage or my payment success rate percentage similar to the rest of my cohort.
Great to hear. Now I want to bring up a topic that everyone's discussing, and that's Gen AI and LLMs. What impact do you see this technology having across the subscription landscape?
You bet. So in terms of generative AI as well as LLMs, I mean, we're actually learning alongside our customers. We are actively working with our customers as well as industry analysts to identify areas that they are seeing as most needed. Our philosophy is that AI needs to actually touch on one of three things. Either it's bringing efficiencies, whether it's providing rich analytical insights, or whether it's creating value add guidance. And so as long as an AI investment is falling into one of those three buckets or even multiple of those buckets, then it's a good investment for us to make. Some of the investments that we've made over recent is our in-app support bot. This helps our customers proactively troubleshoot and triage their system health. We've made investments in natural language analytics. So if you think of like a typical finance user, their goal is not to build reports and analytical dashboards. They just want questions answered so they can jump into the application, ask their question. We're going to respond immediately with the right response. Another investment is really around payment optimization. So we do a couple of things there with ML. Not only do we do proactive fraud alert protection, but also for payment successful retries. So if the first payment has failed, we've got 30 characteristics to understand when should we trigger that secondary payment to ensure that that payment success rate is positive. So those are just a couple of the investments we've made. There's a lot more coming, but I can't spoiler alert here. But one thing I will close out in saying is that in terms of AI, we know the algorithms are going to get better. We know over time that it's not a competition on the best algorithms. It really is around the data that it sits on. And with Zuora, we've got 15 years of payment data, billing data, revenue data. That data set is what's really going to differentiate us. And our marketing team provided a great fun fact. We've got 500 million subscribers in our data set. Wow. And so with that, we've got the third largest country at our fingertips. So we know that that's going to amount to some really great AI as well as LLM analysis. So,
well, thank you so much for your time and insights. It's been a pleasure having you on Data Cloud Now.
Of course. Thank you to be here.
And for the audience watching, I'm Ryan Green with Data Cloud Now. I'll see you next time.